Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a challenge to speak after lunch in the wake of ethnic fatigue. And I suspect that on top of ethnic fatigue, we also have some learning fatigue. So I will try and be as witty as an introvert like myself can be. I'd like to take you back to the 1990s. Some of you would have been around in the 1990s, but not at the age where you're contemplating university education. At that time, there was a significant unmet demand for university education, tertiary education. And it is within that context, particularly where persons left school and started working, the challenge for them was how do they develop their academic qualifications. Into that scenario came one Dr. Winston Adams. Unfortunately, Dr. Adams is not well, but I know he's online. So, good afternoon, Dr. Adams. So he came into that environment and saw an opportunity and established the Institute of Management Sciences. Most persons would not have heard of the Institute of Management Sciences. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, how did Dr. Adams transform IMS into what is now the UCC group, which is the largest privately held university in Jamaica and the Caribbean? I would suggest to you that there were three very important pillars that Dr. Adams leveraged. One was vision, but vision in a different sense. Many of us believe that seeing is believing. Dr. Adams was of an entirely different view. Believing is seeing. So he saw an opportunity to establish a university, although he was not at that point in the establishment of IMS. But in addition to that, he saw far into the future that education was going to be a very important growth segment for Jamaica as we try to catch up with our partners in the world. Many of you may not know that in the United Kingdom, the international student market is worth billions of English pounds and rivals in size the export of financial services. So vision was important, and also vision because other persons were around. There were other institutions catering for post-secondary education, but they were not able to translate their institution into an institution rather than UCC. Now, but how do you do that? Scale is important. How do you go from a small mustard seed to a large tree? And Dr. Adams and his team, because it was not one man, Dr. Adams identified acquisitions, mergers, partnerships as being very important to the development of his vision. And in 2002, he acquired the Institute of Management and Production. That gave him additional scale so that he could exploit synergies and reduce costs. And he formed UCC in 2004. But importantly, as an educational institution, accreditation and partnerships with overseas universities is important because education is almost a passport. And if you have a passport that is not recognized, it is of no good to you. And UCC established partnerships with Florida International University, University of London, University of Sutherland. They have received accreditation in the UK. They are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. So they have now developed an educational passport that their students can utilize, which makes the value proposition for UCC that much more important. Now, 2 more points, because I'm not going to run over my time allotment of 8 to 10 minutes, but 2 more points. I'd like to put it to you for points for consideration that education is integral and maybe the most important plank in the efforts of Jamaica to develop its economy. I know of no developed country where its population is not highly educated. And in that regard, Jamaica has certain advantages in terms of its location, in terms of the fact that we are English speaking, in terms of the fact that our people are naturally creative. For such a small country, our national brand exceeds our population by multiples. So we need as a country to focus on education, and we will not achieve our developed goals if we do not expand education for our citizens. But maybe more importantly, have we considered the role that education can play as an export industry? And I believe that this is an area of unexploited potential, and UCC is moving in that direction rapidly. Thank you.